Death at the gates again. Howling my name. Can't greet you today. I have a war to win.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my... I was going to say Last of Us then, because it's in a folder entitled The Last of Us, but this is actually Wolfenstein, the New Order on Uber difficulty. And it is a video walkthrough series that should hopefully help players of all skill levels get through this to get their achievement, their trophy, or their personal sense of pride. We are on Chapter 11, it's entitled U-Boat. And this first room, with all these torpedoes, is a great opportunity for you to get used to shooting people in the head, shooting commandos, and being kind of stealthy. Because for the most, some of this level can be stealthed. After a while, it all kicks off, and then there is a particular room at the end which gave me hell on my first playthrough, because there is 2 shotgunners, heavies, far too close for comfort, and it's just tricky. Luckily enough, on my recording run, because I was battle tested from my first playthrough, I was able to get it on my first recording, and you will not think it's going to be a successful fight with the way it starts, because I go from having full life and armor to 40 health and being in a shitfest. So it just goes to show, guys, even if you have a rough start, as long as you keep going forward and you keep sticking at it, you can still come through. You know, it might not be quite the same to the action games, where you can do things without taking any damage, because first-person shooters, I don't care how good you are, there's just no way you can beat perfect aim. Can't be done. If you could keep the knife and the throwing knife for every single level, and it was possible to stealth every single section, then you could no damage this game. But as it stands, how the hell did I set off an alarm just then? I opened a door on a submarine filled with doors that make submarine door noises. How did he know that it wasn't just, you know, I don't really know that many Hans or Schnitzel or any other German names that I don't really know. You know, it could have been Jurgen Klinsmann. He's getting ready for the World Cup. He's excited. He wants Germany to go the way. But instead, they all know it's a bad guy, and thus we have a firefight on this corridor. And I don't know if it's the Steven Seagal fan in me back when he wasn't fat and looked like a wardrobe wearing a leather dressing gown, but it just reminds me of Under Siege. Whenever I'm on boats like this, it reminds me of how much I loved the first Under Siege. And I was young and, you know, easily influenced. I was going through my Jean-Claude Van Damme phase, and the old Seagal turned up with a Die Hard on a Boat, which I think was the moniker on the VHS that I watched. And it was such a good film. And I mean, sure, he's pretty wooden and he can't act for toffee, but he kicked a lot of ass. And, you know, his hair wasn't thinning, his ponytail actually had some length. It wasn't just, you know, tapped to the back of his head like a shrunken skull you forgot to shave. And, he kicked ass. And then there was the girl with the big titties that came out of the cake. It was a prepubescent boy's dream, and I had a lot of fun with it. And any level that is on a boat these days, when you're going through these kind of areas, even though graphically this does look so poor texture-wise, this corridor looks nice because it's just primary colours. It's using the colour scheme to achieve its aesthetic. The textures in these rooms, though, are just horrible. And it's such a shame as well that... But it's like anything else, you know, PC gamers have been having this for years. That's the reason why they resent console gamers, because they don't understand how we can't play things in, you know, really good frame rates and super high-res textures. And at this moment in time, I understand their feeling, because this looks really rough, and it is by no means a representation of the ideal version of the game, just so you know. But I'm intentionally trying to pick up as much stuff as I can, because I can't quite remember when that room that I'm not confident about turns up. And lo and behold, I want to save grenades, I want to have high life and all that good stuff, and I end up dropping into the room and realising that I've overstepped my welcome and I didn't pick up as much as I want. And I think it's because there was a piece of armour up some stairs, and when I tried to turn on my recording run to pick it up, I fell off the ladder. And because I don't want to waste people's time watching me go up and down ladders, and I wanted to save myself the editing time of having trimmed it, because I would like this guy to be out really quickly so I can focus on some other things. And I have had some time away from YouTube, which I haven't really talked about, because I've been, you know, busy with my girlfriend and doing some stuff, which has been nice. It definitely makes you appreciate what you do. But also, Watch Dogs is out on Tuesday, which is 2 days away, and I have no idea what that game is going to be. By the way, folks, this is two heavies on a corridor where their shotguns rule. So if you sit behind these steps that I'm on, it's pretty much the best cover you can get while still giving some back. And it works surprisingly well. But they're so dangerous, like, you don't even know. Oh, hate them. But the review embargo for Watch Dogs is the day it comes out, which gives me no confidence whatsoever in this game. It's been in development for a very long time. They've been mentioning how they couldn't get the frame rate up, and it makes me wonder, is it going to be a piece of shit? Is it going to be, you know, all glitz and glam and no substance? Is it going to be Assassin's Creed 1, basically? Where they have this fantastic concept, it looks amazing, it's super interesting, but then the gameplay turns into just a giant swan-crafted turd. And I'm hoping that they've avoided this, but at the same time, it's a sandbox game along the lines of a technical, you know, future noir GTA. And my least favourite kind of game at this moment in time that I actively partake in is sandbox GTA-esque games. They just are not my thing, they're not my bread and butter. They bore me, as amazing as that is. You know, I used to love them when I was younger because I used to just mess around in the giant worlds, just driving around and doing stuff, but I played all of them, and I'm at that point now where unless you have something compelling or something different, doing a lot of things decently does not have the appeal of being a selective kind of game that does one thing really well. And it's just, they spread themselves too thin for me. So I'm hoping that Watch Dogs is like the best game this year. It's the awesome thing, but at the same time I would love it for its campaign to be linear, streamlined, and easy to make a guide for. And those games generally do not have that structure at all. So I'm going to look at the reviews, I'm going to see what gets said, and who knows, maybe the main missions are there if you want to do them, and it's all the side content stuff that is the true sandboxy stuff. Because if it is, I would love to cover it. But if it's just drive over here, hack this, you know, pick up girl, drive her back, tail this guy, hack this, then it's just GTA with an iPhone, and that just does not appeal. I'm also worried as well that, can you remember on the E3 footage a couple of years back when it went all super awesome slow-mo and he fired his gun and it looked like Jesus had jizzed in his chalice and given us all eternal life? I don't think it's going to look like that in the main game. I fear it's not going to look as impressive as it did, because if the gunplay looks that amazing, and that wasn't just an overly embellished tech demo, it could be great. But just bear in mind, guys, how many games have we seen that look amazing on their presentations because they're being run on super-powered optimized PCs and it's a very niche part of the game so they can fully get it running awesome, and then when the game comes out and it looks nothing like what they promised, a la Dark Souls 2, you know? So I have trepidations, but I hope for the best, and I suppose we'll see in a few days. But it's fucking dear too, man. If it was like 35 quid, a decent website, something like that, I probably would pick it up and cover it just for the sake of it, but it's like 50 quid. 50 quid just so Ubisoft can turn it into a franchise and bore my tits off for another generation. Like, nah. But this is the room. This is the insanely tough room. So there's health over here that I'm stood on. Through this room there is armor, and there's health to my right. And immediately there's a ton of dudes in this area, and how it works is, ton of dudes, heavy. Little bit of a break, more dudes, second heavy, then the doors at the back of the room open, and you have to kill a commander and 2 buddies. If you could kill the commander before it all kicked off, this would be simple, but it ain't. So we have a heavy coming here, and this is the part where I was kind of shitting my pants, because right then, bad situation to be in. Survives the grenade. I have the wrong fire mode on my gun, which is annoying as balls. Hit him another. You see that? You see that? That was something like 117 life with 10 armor. He put me down to, what was it, 50 life? One shot, clean. Absolutely insane. If anything's going to give you trouble on this game, it's going to be them. They're so dangerous, but now he's dead. There's only one left. And the normal dudes compared to that nightmare are very simple. It's one of those super awkward rooms where you can't really get your back against a corridor and you can get flanked by dudes do massive damage, and I'm on 47 life, I don't know who's shooting me, and I'm flapping big time. But I get those 2 guys, I get my 40 life back, he throws a grenade like an idiot, so I shoot him in the face. His buddy somehow doesn't hit me just then with that barrage, And pushing into the room at this point is smart, because I know over here is a pretty good area, and there's also those ladders, those stairs, sorry. Upstairs there's armor and HP, and I need both of them, so that's exactly where I'm going. Don't know if you noticed, but the AI dude had no idea where I'd gone. There's a grenade, which is going to help for the second heavy, and I have no interest in killing anything until my HP looks a little better. And as you can see, it's a tough proposition, because shit's shooting me. There's the armor, there's the life. I'm looking a little bit more up for this, and to my right, a heavy's about to turn up. So you need to have your head on a swivel. There it is. That right there was about as lucky as it gets, because he backed up for some reason instead of pursuing me and murdering me with that shotgun he has. And as you can see, there's some life to my left should I need it, but there's still the threat of a fat dude over there, and I'm terrified of him. So get that clipping on and kill him. Hit him in the face and hope he sprays. There he goes. And then from now on, it's just dudes. So you can let that held breath out, take your time, use your regen, and then just finish up. And oh, my pad's having a go. Stop it, pad. But once the room kind of goes quiet, it means that the doors are open. You see them? Doors are open. And then you just have to go through there and kill them. They can kill you, so be very careful. And if you die, you'll go back to the beginning where you fell down, and this entire fight has to happen again. It isn't that bad if you manage it well, and I just showed you a couple of ways to handle it. Some of them not so great, because I did get under fire quite a lot, but it's just a case of get rid of the shotgun guys ASAP, keep your life up, know where the HP is, know where your back is, and know if anyone can see you. And you should be okay. So the only thing left to do here is release the buoys. Excuse me while my dinner comes back on myself and my gun fritzes out. And then we're going to be inside one of the more fantastical areas of the game, where it insinuates that there is some kind of technology that predates modern technology. And that is the reason why everything is so amazing, because there was this precursor of a civilization that is advanced and sophisticated, a little bit like the pyramids. Because every single textbook we have that describes how they were built doesn't really cut it when you look at the logistics of it, just how good the craftsmanship is. And speaking of good craftsmanship, here is some platforming in a first-person game. Everybody loves this. And the trick with this is just don't get too eager, don't get too overzealous. Take your time, and you'll not fall. Or if you do fall and you get frustrated, you'll be there for about 40 minutes, because it's just one of those things where as soon as you start to get mad, you play worse. And once you start playing worse, you continue to play worse until you end up turning the game off. But the rest of this is pretty simple stuff. I'm surprised I've not put a transition here, just to get us to the next sequence where we have to put something in. We put the cube off one of the shelves into a strange looking... Look at the texture, guys. Look at it. I can guarantee that that looks significantly better than this big blurry Aztec nipple on next-gen consoles. It probably looks wonderful. Same on PC. PC probably makes it shine, but this... I'm not going to say it looks like a PS2 game, because people need to go back and play their PS2s, because PS2 games only look good because retrospect and your brain's ability to forget are making them look good. Trust me, guys, I play my PS2 quite a lot. It's a blurry fucking mess. The models are nowhere near as sophisticated as we think they are. We just have that mist of nostalgia that tints them. Like, Ocarina of Time, to me, when I look back on it, looks just as good as Oblivion or Skyrim or something, because in my brain I've kind of warped it, and it now looks like what Link looks like in the most recent stuff, yet when you look back on it, it essentially looks like two pieces of Lego stuck together, wandering around a giant piece of Lego. Which is a little bit harsh, because that game is beautiful in its own way. But thank you for watching, and as always, you take care now.